Hi, my name's Buck Norris. Thank you very much for coming by my YouTube channel today. This channel is dedicated to creating videos that will assist users who use PowerPoint for Bible study presentations, and also to assist them in using the PowerPoint software in making those presentations for in-person or a combination of in-person and online Zoom attendees. Again, thank you for coming by. Hi, so this video will deal with PowerPoint and the ability to include links in your PowerPoint slides that refer to external files, web pages, etc. So we'll be dealing with 5 different ways to use PowerPoint and adding links. We're going to talk first about creating a link to a Bible passage. Secondly, creating a link to an audio file. Thirdly, creating a link to another document file that's on your computer. Fourth, creating a link to a web page on the web somewhere. And finally, creating a link to a graphic file that's located on your computer. I hope this will give you insight on the different facets of using links in PowerPoint that are very powerful for making your presentations and doing your Bible study presentations when using PowerPoint. The first type of link we're going to talk about is a link involving a reference to a Bible passage. Obviously, you can put whatever text you want to on a slide. You could type in or paste in your text for a Bible reference. There are other times that you may just want to provide a link to a Bible passage that it will look up the passage for you. For example, I use a site called From Biblia by Faith Life, and here's the link you can see on the slide. It's https://ref.ly. I'll click on that link and you can see how it comes up. It comes up to a web page, and that web page has a couple of text boxes that you can type into. For example, if you go back to the slide here, you will see that I have a sample of a reference to one verse, and when I put my cursor over the link, you can see it's referenced to that web page with a specific reference to Acts 16:31. In this second one here, I've linked to multiple verses, in this case Genesis 1:1-4. I will click on these two and you'll just see how they come up. Now, if you don't know the keyboard shortcut, if you're just in regular slide view here, not presenter view, you have to hold down the control key and click on the link to bring it up in the page. And you see that link comes up specifically to Acts 16:31, which I referenced. And the nice thing about this, and you may have to set up a free Biblia account to do this, but I have chosen the English Standard Version as my version. But as you go down here, you can see that it not only has your referenced version, but it also has a bunch of other versions. You've got the New Living Translation, you've got the King James Version, right on down the line. So it's a great reference tool. So it makes it nice if you just want to reference and bring it up, or have someone in class look it up, you can bring it up and you've got it on your screen. You don't have to have a separate Bible to flip through if you desire to do it that way. Close this and go back to the second one. You see this link refers to multiple verses. So I'm going to hold down the control key, click on that link, and it brings it up in the page. And you can see it goes to Genesis 1:1-4. And again, it's got the different references down here. So a really nice tool to be able to use. Now, to show you how this works, if you type in a reference and you select it by holding down your mouse key and sliding it across the text, it will select it. If you right click on the text, you have a pop-up menu. And on that pop-up menu somewhere, you have a link to the link reference. If you go to the arrow there, it will pop up, and you can choose to insert a link. In this case, need to back up on this. Okay, what you need to do first is you need to open up this page and then type in the reference that you want. Now you can see down in this area, down here, it explains how to type in these references. They're not really too particular. And if you want a particular version, you can type that version after a period in the reference. For example, John 3:16. I can type in as John 3:16, the normal format. When I hit enter, you see down here, it jumps down to that second box and highlights it in blue. So if I choose copy and go back to my PowerPoint presentation, select this text, right click, go up to link, and you can see that link that was copied to the clipboard is right there. You click on it. Now it highlights in blue like a normal web link would do. And when I click and hold down the control key and click on it, it comes up with that reference. Same thing, multiple passages. If I select this right here and choose copy, and I go back to the Bible, this reference, this website, I just create a link to it or a favorite to it on my web browser. But if I right click and I choose paste and hit enter, you can see it jumps down to the next box and it creates a link. So if I copy that link by right clicking and choose copy, go back to my PowerPoint presentation, right click on that highlighted text, go to link, and now you can see it has a reference to John 3:16 through 18. Click on that and I have it. So if you're in a class and you have a lot of references, sometimes you don't want to look them all up. You want to be able to quickly link to it. You click on it. You can see it comes up to John 3:16 through 18, and you have the references as well as if you scroll down the other translations. So that's the first good use of a link in PowerPoint. The second type of link you might want to add to a PowerPoint slide is that of an audio link. It may be that you've got an audio file, a song file, or something that you'd like to play for the class that enhances your lesson. This can be accomplished by copy and paste or by using the insert audio command on the insert ribbon in PowerPoint. I have these two down here. Each one was added a different way, and I'll just go through the process. I'm going to delete both of these and go through the process to show you how copy and paste works. So if you go to your file browser, and I'm going to go to where I have the files that I want to use in this lesson. Here I'm going to put a link to a short Sparks audio. You just right click on that audio and choose the copy command from the pop-up menu. Then you go over to your slide presentation, right click anywhere on the slide and choose paste. Now PowerPoint is smart enough to understand that you are pasting in an audio file, so it creates a icon for an audio file with a player. So if I click on that player,
hey Jacob,
it starts to click the file. Right now I don't have the sound system turned on, so you can't hear that audio file. I forgot to do that. Second way that you can add the audio file is if you go to the insert ribbon in PowerPoint, and over here on the right you click on insert audio. You can record the audio if you've got a microphone, or click audio on my PC. And in this case, I'm going to pick a little bit longer of an audio file. It pastes it in. They look the same, placed on the slide different ways, but they look basically the same. Now, one of the things that you can also do with these,
Damascus Road.
I'm playing that. Now I know you can't hear it because I forgot to turn the audio system recording on. But one thing that you can do with both of these methods is you can set two parameters on it. First of all, you can tell the slide to only play when you click on it, or the audio file to only play when you click on the audio file, or to play in the background. Play in the background, that means that when that starts playing, it's just going to play in the background for your whole slide presentation. That's not normally the choice that you want to use. The second choice is if you right-click on this audio file and choose the trim button, it comes up with a whole nother dialog box. You can see this is a this is basically a 3.5 minute presentation of Paul on the road to Damascus. But let's say you only wanted to run a particular part of that audio file. Let's say it's a half-hour file. You can click on the beginning, click that green, and slide it to where you want to start. Click on the red and set it to where you want to play it. So now you only have a 41-minute file that you're playing. So even though it's a reference level file, PowerPoint's been told that I only want to play that portion of the file. So that's the second way that you can insert links on your PowerPoint web pages, is for audio files. Hope you enjoy that. The next useful link that you can put on a PowerPoint slide is a link to an external document. Sometimes there's just too much information to include on a slide, and it would be better to just link to a document that has that, where you can bring it up in class on your presentation and read from it if you don't have a copy of that. But it's great to be able to put a link to that on your page. For example, I have a text here that says Baptism in the New Testament, and this is a link, as you can see, as I put my cursor over it, it's a link to a file on my computer. Let me just show you how you would create that. You can just simply insert a text box by going to the Insert ribbon, clicking on a page, and say link to something, however you want to type it. And as if you hit Control A to select that whole text, if you right-click on it, you can go up to your link command on the right context menu, right-click context menu, click on Insert Link, and you can maneuver to whatever file you want. In this case, I'll just go to, for example, this PowerPoint presentation for this slide presentation. And so when you click on it, the link, the Word document will come up. It's actually in the background. I've got to click on it. You can see how it comes up here. I find it best a lot of times to refer to PDF documents. Let me select this again. PDF documents come up much better for demonstration purposes in class. So I'll create a PDF document off of every Word document that I have. It's just what I do. So I'm going to remove the link, and I'm going to go to, again, to Link, Insert Link, and I'm going to maneuver to a PDF file. Any place here. I just go to a place where I know I have a lot of them. And here, for example, Baptism in Acts of the Apostles. It inserts the link to the file. While you're doing your presentation, you can click on it, and it brings up the PDF document. Oops. Try that again. I remove the link. I got to select the whole thing. Remove the link. And I'm going to insert the link. And I chose the wrong file. Sorry about that. We'll get back here to where I was. And I'm going to choose a PDF document. Now, typically when you do insert on a PowerPoint, it wants to filter it for Office files. That's why I missed that. So you've got to click and choose all files, and then pick the particular file that you want. And it puts the link in there. So now when you click on this link, it will sometimes give you a warning, and it brings up that document, and you can discuss it in class rather than having all that information listed on that particular slide. Sometimes on the next link that you can add to a PowerPoint slide is sometimes you want to insert a link to a website that you would like to use in your lesson for illustration purposes or to show something on that website. We've covered inserting video links in another video extensively, so we won't deal with videos here. We're primarily concerned about web pages. So if you just want to make it easier to bring up a particular site or a web page in your PowerPoint slide, you can add a link. Now, for example, here, what I've done is I've gone to a website and just pasted in the text, selected the text, choose link. I'm going to remove the link here. I can choose the link and go through that process. But the simplest way to do it is just bring up the particular web page that you want to go to. In this case, I'll just bring up my Firefox here, and we'll type in logos.com. And what I want to do here is I want to select the URL in the web page, select it, make sure it's all highlighted in blue, right click and choose, excuse me, my recorder keeps getting in my way here, copy. Now you go back to your PowerPoint presentation, bring it up, select the text, and go link, insert link. And since you copied the link to the clipboard, it's right there on your link tab. Click on that, and it's inserted the link. You can see I go back down here. So if I want to bring up the web page now, I just hold down the control key, click on it, and it brings up that web page. You can also insert a particular reference. In this particular reference, I have one to going to Wikipedia and an article on the Jordan River. But it can be a reference to just whatever you want. If I go to the web browser again, and for example, I go to Wikipedia, and let's say I look up something like Roman guard. Let me look up Luther. How about that? That's something biblical. So I have several references. I can click on Martin Luther. Now I have that page up. So I click up in the web page link box address. And when I click in there, it highlights the whole thing in blue. I right click on it. I choose copy. I come back to PowerPoint. I select this, right click on it, and go to the, I'm going to remove the link that's in there first. I'm going to right click on it now, go back to link, and you have that particular page that you copied to the clipboard. So right there. Now, obvious, my text doesn't say Luther, it says Jordan River. Any link that you have from text, if you right click on it and you choose edit link, you see this top box up here says text to display. So you don't have to display the actual web page address. You can type whatever you want in here. Luther information, or whatever you would like to type. Now you have a link there. Click on that link, and it brings up the web page to Martin Luther. A quick way to bring up reference information that you might need and might want to display to your class. Now, also, you can do this with text, but also any feature that you can use and put on a web page can become a instrument for linking. For example, if I put a shape, let's just do a square peg right here, and I type in link. Or if I inserted a icon, many icons in PowerPoint. For example, if I wanted to say man, I'm going to insert that link, and it's a nice little icon here. So any of these, for example here, I can right click on this and I go link, and I can link the same web page to Luther that I have. Or over here, I'll right click on it, choose link, choose the link to Luther. So no matter what I pick here, if I pick this link, it's going to come up to Luther. Go back to the web page. If I click on this icon, it's going to come up to Luther. So anything that you can put on a web page, whether it's a text, whether it's an icon, whether it's a picture, or whatever you want to use, you can create a link to it, to something on the outside. Make it visual. Actually, you could put a picture of Luther there if you wanted to, and link it to article of Luther. In fact, I'll just do that. Let's see how that works. I'm going to go here to web page. I'm going to pick Luther, and I'm going to choose images, and I'm going to right click this image and choose copy image. Go back to my PowerPoint presentation, right click on the empty part of the page somewhere and choose paste. Now I have a link. If I go back to the web page here, the one with Luther, and I copy the link, select the graphic, right click on it, choose link, and I have the copied link. Now right there, I can click on it and bring the article up. A lot of times if you do that, you want to provide some kind of visual that that's a link, because it's not readily obvious that that picture is a link to Luther. But anyhow, that's how you can add links to web pages in PowerPoint. The final type of link that you can add to a PowerPoint slide is a link to a graphic file. Sometimes you would like to just insert a link to a particular graphic without embedding that graphic in the slide. You can create a link to do this. Now I have an illustration on this slide. You can see over here on the left, bottom left, is a link to a picture file that I just copied and pasted into PowerPoint. The way I did that, let me go ahead and delete that off of there, is I maneuvered to the place that that file is located. In this case, it's Charlie Brown and Clouds. I right click on it and I choose copy. Go back to the PowerPoint presentation and choose paste. And I have it right there. Now, obviously, if you want to make that graphic the same size as your slide, you can. But it may be that you just want an illustration and a link to bring that, rather than having a whole file taken up, a whole slide taken up with that slide presentation, that particular graphic, excuse me. So you can size it however you want, or you can actually create a text, as we did before, and you can see that this link on this text goes to the Charlie Brown JPEG picture that I have. So if I remove the link, I'll just go through that process. I have it selected. I'm going to right click, choose link, and I'm going to insert link and choose the same file here. Okay. So now if I click on that link, it's going to bring it up in whatever the default program is. The graphic files come up for you, and you can zoom in and talk about that file however you want. So it's very useful for graphic files to be linked as a link on a PowerPoint page. So I hope you understand and appreciate the different ways that you can use links in PowerPoint slides in your lessons. Thank you.